This is great.
I'm gonna. But if I put
God,
yeah,
0 viewers. Ooh. Okay. Well, now we.
Why did you click? You clicked live?
Yes, it's streaming.
We got one viewer.
Wait, now you're.
But can they hear us? Can you hear us, viewer?
Yes.
I have a suggestion.
Hey,
It's good. So
it works.
everybody can hear you.
Hi everyone. I have a suggestion. Don't when you tell us when you click live.
She was asking us for like a minute. We were not talking.
All right, I'm done already. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
this is great.
we have an actual viewer.
Yeah.
Hi viewer. Please feel free to comment. So we are I can't believe you didn't tell me it was live.
No, I know, right?
Okay.
It just went right to live. We're a minute in already.
The-
We're tuning in about post-election stress. We have yet to introduce ourselves. It's just the start.
Okay, so we are Therapy My Way. We're located in Plainview. We do testing and evaluation. We do individual therapy, marital therapy, and we talk. And this is our first broadcast.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about a number of topics. So I'm Fred Holtz. I'm a licensed psychologist. We've been in business here 35 years, and I am with
Mark Tinger. I'm an intern here currently. I've been working here for almost a year. And
an old timer already. So we are located in Plainview, New York, and the number is right down there, 516-888-HELP. If you have any comments, you can please comment. We are live and we can respond to comments.
they left.
Oh, that was you. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully we'll get some viewers. So does it say how many viewers we have somewhere?
Yeah. If you look,
0. Okay.
we got a nice
Oh, it's up there, upper left. Okay.
nice telescope.
We're live for 2 minutes already. We didn't say anything. Okay.
Yeah.
This sounds good though.
The sound's good. They can hear us. This is good.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna talk about post-election stress. I mean, we
Yeah, so-
introduced ourselves.
So I'm just going to say a couple of like preambles, if you will. So
Mhm.
I'm a big news watcher. I watch the news 2 hours every night. I shouldn't. It's not recommended right
Mhm.
before you go to sleep.
Mhm.
But the whole thing was presented stressfully. It's always presented as a struggle between one side and the other. They're always putting down each other. Most people think it was like a choice of the lesser of two evils. If you talk to people, and it was somehow was presented very stressfully this time. I've been through a lot of elections, and this one was probably the most contentious in terms of like it's either this or this. And if you pick this one, it's the country will fall apart. If you pick this one, democracy is over. Now, I have my personal opinions of who I voted for, but that's not even the issue. Like,
No.
So we're going to talk about stress in general a little bit, what to do about it,
Yeah.
and then we are going to talk specifically about this particular election. So did you, Mark? You wanted to introduce the topic?
Yeah. I'll take it away. So
through the trees,
through the trees, aside this fern.
aside the fern.
Aside the fern, we have first the acknowledgement of like the topic at hand, which is post-election stress or anxiety. And what I'm looking to talk about primarily with you is like, how is the anxiety going to present itself? It's the most contentious feeling that we've had when we look at politics. Like every time I think about it, I think about just how polarizing conversation has become around politics.
She cut to the wrong person. So there you go. It's all about you.
Okay.
This is our first broadcast.
Yeah.
So we are in experimental mode.
It's like I'm looking at myself, but actually
it's opposite.
I'm going to look right at this thing.
Yeah, and I'm going to look at that one when it's my turn.
Now, does it look like I'm looking at you right now?
Yes.
Okay, so
That's because you are.
I'm
Yeah.
going to stare deep into your soul right now and tell you.
Lost it. Oh, look at me.
Oh.
So am I looking at that camera right there? Cool.
She I'm gone.
You're out of
Just
the
like that. I was talking.
You're out of the picture. Can I if you're a viewer, how come you don't come up as one viewer?
I took myself off.
Oh yeah.
We
We're
lost.
trying to get our audience here.
Not only do we lose,
Person behind the
not
camera.
only do we have no viewers, the staff won't even.
I'm gonna have to tune in.
Yeah, right.
My ego is gonna be destroyed after this.
You run those supercomputers, it's like 12 now. So
right?
Yeah,
But we're going to build up an audience from 0.
exactly.
It's going to be, we're going to double that easily.
Oh, easily. By the time we stream next, we're actually going to have double our audience. If you think about
We
it,
do sound good, though.
yeah, we do sound good. Like we're just talking to just have this like
I know,
the
it's
sound
great.
of it come in.
Oh my
I could
gosh.
even talk in a more relaxed tone.
See, if someone would, and someone, if they viewed,
Yeah,
could ask any question they want.
yeah. And that's what we want. We want like live viewer interaction. We want to bring up the
There I
topic
am.
and then have the topic be about whatever we're talking about. So yeah, somebody can come in here, but I'd hope that they would talk about stuff that's relevant to whatever title we post or what we're talking about. Because if they come in with like,
Well, you'll see. They will. They'll be off topic. We're going to advertise a little bit.
yeah, okay,
So you were just starting to talk about
right. I was starting to talk about it. Basically, where I'd go first is like how polarizing it is and how anxiety inducing the future is. So we're going to start there. Regardless of what the outcome was to be, I think anyone can relate to fearing for the future, right? So acknowledging that there's fear for the future is like, I think my first step, because like we could also deny it and be like, everything's fine.
Well, the biggest
Not gonna
source of
worry about it.
stress is change.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, like way back, the research on stress and anxiety, they called it the life change unit, like an LCU.
Interesting.
Yeah, so like an LCU, a life change unit. Like let's say changing jobs that says like a certain number on the stress scale.
Yeah.
Like it goes all the way up to like death of a family member and all that stuff.
Damn.
Getting a promotion at work, getting any kind of change in your schedule, change in eating habits. So it's called LCU, life change unit or life change index or something like that.
Oh yeah, I've heard
And like the government changing over is stressful anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the contentiousness of the way the election was presented,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know if the winning side has as much stress as the losing side, but there is still that stress of what the future will hold because there's going to be a lot of changes.
Yeah.
So we may want to cut to the chase of like what you can do about it.
We could.
Like I mean this doesn't we're not jumping too far ahead, but
no.
And you'll notice when we do these broadcasts, I will usually derail the main conversation.
I don't think we were ever on a train track.
We were never on the tracks to begin with.
No.
We're going off the rails on the crazy train.
Yeah.
Anyway, I could tell you, like personally, what do I do? Okay, the person I voted for didn't win, and I wasn't like 100% behind the person I voted for anyway. But what I do to calm myself down is say things like, the government is still intact. There are still, it's not going to be vastly different. It's not going to change a day-to-day basis right away.
We still drive our cars the same. We still stop at stoplights. We still go order food. Like, yeah, and everything's still like the same.
And I kind of believe that like democracy is like, it is robust. It is working. It is, it's okay. So instead of watching the news for 2 hours every night, I'm just going to catch up on the headlines and like, read a book.
Yeah. So reduce news intake. What is that called? Consumption.
Yes.
News consumption.
It's well known. You shouldn't watch the news like before you go to sleep, but I do anyway. The voices do sound great.
They do. They really do. Yeah. I like that as the first one is just reducing, what is it called? News consumption.
Yeah.
And also I think one thing that comes to my mind is finding support. A lot of times when we get into our anxiety levels about the future, especially when it comes to this new result for the election, we might feel isolated and alone in our struggles. And so finding people that are like-minded and around us can really help. And those that already have it can vouch for it. Like we have groups where we can talk about, how stressful this is to us or what we're anxious about. Having that kind of social support is very healthy. And ways to look for it is basically just reaching out. I mean, we all might have a friend or two that we know share similar feelings or similar thoughts about what's happening around us, having conversations with them can be extremely helpful in terms of just reducing our anxiety and getting us back into that feeling of safety.
The only caution that I would add is like social media, it can be like not the place. Like if you go on social media, you're going to hear an echo chamber of certain thoughts that just get repeated over and over again. And everyone knows like nasty comments and trolls and all that stuff. I would go for that support with either a very specific group online that shares your values or shares your interests or whatever, or actual people.
Yeah, I was thinking actual people. I didn't specify.
Right.
That was a good specification. And that was a good voice to say it too.
It is good to have support. And I know, like I hear from a lot of people that friendships are strained from this. Like, and I like personally, I have like a best friend, and our views are like polar opposite sometimes. And there's not a lot of middle ground. So like, and sometimes I am guilty of bringing up a topic that I know that they disagree with. Yeah. Like they know for sure. I mean, I know for sure they're going to disagree with me. So I have to stop. It's not provoking. It's because like I'll say something to them like for sure you're not going to vote for that person, and like of course they will vote for them.
Yeah. So
like I have to stop bringing up the topic, and so if I want to kind of revisit my friendships, I should just talk about other things that we have in common that that made us friends, like gaming and
avoiding conversation about it. No, I mean I agree. Tough. I think that's I just had a visit with my grandparents, and they have some opposite views of me. They have more traditional beliefs, I think is the word that people have used around my age. And I realized that I could just ask them. I said, let's table the conversation about politics, because it was getting heated. And we know that there can be a lot of discourse and like the rupture. And I was only seeing my grandparents for like so long. I didn't want it to be filled with argumentation. I thought, and I asked them and they were fine with it. I mean, I think they were more than fine with it. And we had a nice chat afterwards. So just avoiding that kind of talk, even for people those close to you, and asking them to avoid that too. I mean, I expressed that. I said, I can't handle this conversation. I'd like to stop talking about it. Is it okay if we talk about something else? Like, how am I doing? And then it was easier that way.
There's so Thanksgiving is coming up, and there's one thing that Thanksgiving is famous for, which is like arguments over the dinner table. There's a movie. I can never. I think it's called either 4th of July or Coming to America or something. It's old now. It's like 20 years old or more. But the main plot had to do. Someone was late for Thanksgiving, and the host like cut the turkey without that other family being involved, and it caused a rift in the family like for decades. And it's such a sadness that there was a silly argument in Thanksgiving that led to like the family not talking to each other. So with Thanksgiving, that'll be our next topic, Thanksgiving stress.
Yeah, let's keep going on this topic. Anything that can be stressful, we'll just bring it in.
We'll just talk about stressful
Thanksgiving stress. What do you buy for, when the holidays are coming up?
Oh my gosh. We will. Yeah, we can talk about Thanksgiving stress.
Yeah, I like it.
But yeah, I mean, to whatever extent it works, you could say like this, you can make a joke out of it. This is like a non-political Thanksgiving. This is a non-political discussion or whatever. It's tough. The nitty gritty about like, so let's say the party in power is not the one you want. So what can you do? You can start supporting people in your party on the local level. Like this, feeling helpless is probably stressful as well.
Yeah.
So what can you do about it? You can do things about it. You can get involved in politics in a positive way. You can support candidates you like or people who are doing the right thing. I think I told you privately, I consider myself part of the radical middle. Like I'm sort of not exactly in the middle on everything, but I can see the logic and the sense in gun control, even though I'm a gun owner. Like I see the sense in lowering taxes, even though I believe you got to support the government. Like there's a vast middle ground, and the polls and everything else show that there were a lot of independents, like a ton of independents out there. And perhaps the middle ground is not so radical.
Yeah. It feels radical, right?
Right? It feels radical just be in the middle. It makes sense.
Because of how contentious and how polarizing each side was, as of recently. I mean, it's difficult to like try to look at the middle ground and say, oh, this is normal for me, or this is like easier to say than it is to just go fully into one topic.
Right. It's empowering to be part of a group and to have strong feelings. It's empowering. People identify with that. I try to take like each issue it's by itself and like analyze a little bit about how I feel and what makes sense to me. And it's a little selfish, like what makes sense to my business, what makes sense to my family. Like we're getting funny looks from the
oh, you can see her.
I get the producers like making a funny face.
Really?
But it would be great if we should like, how do we got to figure out how to gain an audience.
Yeah, I mean,
advertising ahead of time,
broadcasting it on social media. I think having a consistent schedule, were all things that'll help us. And considering that we're broadcasting to YouTube and Facebook, we could also post the live stream afterwards.
Oh yeah.
As long as it's less than 12 hours for YouTube, it'll go. And then for Facebook, I mean,
I hope it'll be less than 12 hours.
Yeah. Well, hopefully.
Recording. Oh, we're recording. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
We're recording it. I don't know that I would want this particular, like we would maybe want to edit a little bit.
I think if we were to put the raw footage out, that I think would be best.
Seriously.
Raw, unedited. The people join in for 1 minute. The first 30 seconds, we don't even know we're live. I think that's perfect.
With the 3 minutes, I didn't know we were going live.
We're looking for spontaneity here. Yeah.
They didn't hear the fart joke, did they?
No, they didn't. Okay. That actually, I'm very happy they didn't. I'd be so embarrassed. I would say we'd have to edit it out. I don't know what that means. No, we didn't talk. Oh, okay. They might have. They might not have. We'll find out.
I'm gonna because we're gonna end a little bit early, but
yeah,
I want to talk about like some basic techniques to relax and de-stress that not necessarily applicable specifically to the election, but generally work very well.
Generally to lower anxiety levels. Like even if there's nothing that you feel like you can do about the results, even if you don't feel like you're capable of going out and looking up your local government and how can you support your side of the local government, and not if you don't have any support groups, here's something that can help you regardless of that.
Yeah, playing into that, like the feeling of helplessness. Like you can definitely do things to relax, and so I wrote a whole pamphlet on this. So I'm going to go through stuff really quick, and I want you to add like. So first, let's start with like, what do you and I actually do to relax? I can tell you, I like poking around new music. Like if I like a group, I'll see what that group was influenced by, and then I'll listen to that. And it's a little bit like a deep dive rabbit hole on YouTube and stuff, but. Like I like to explore different musical groups on a deep level, what influenced them, how they started. So I like to find new groups that I'm not familiar with. So basically listening to music.
You go into the world of music.
Yes, I like artwork. I like painting. I like. I used to write more, but I like writing.
It reminds me of a saying that there was a man that said, you're living to work, but if you work to live, where does the life come from? And I believe it comes from the arts, so poetry, art, music, museums, like all of that kind of stuff. I was like, there's stuff that's artistic, like dancing, watching dances.
Yeah, and it to me it makes me like emotionally very calm to look at a certain work of art, to listen to music, or go to a concert or whatever. I like producing stuff too, which is really satisfying. So that's one thing. But so hobbies I feel are very important. Any kind of hobby, getting a new hobby, and you don't have to be good at it. I'm not a good musician. Like some of the music I do, it comes out okay, and I like it. You don't have to be good to explore something. So like hobbies, interests, pastimes, getting out, hiking, nature, photography, any of those that we are involved in some environment. But specifically, there are relaxation techniques. There's paced breathing. You keep your breathing regular. There's visualization. Basically, you sit there and you think of something really pretty or calming,
Oh, that's cool.
walking through the forest. And when you do that, you're supposed to use all of your imaginary senses. Like, what does the forest smell like? What does it sound like? What, like, look at the sky, feel the wind on your face.
Yeah.
It works very well if you practice it. The things you say to yourself, very important. If you put a lot of pressure on yourself, like, I have to be perfect, I got to get this done, I must do this, it can be devastating.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's a lot.
I'm covering these topics really briefly. Each one could be a whole episode, but
Seriously,
relaxation techniques, muscle relaxation techniques, where you tense your hands and then you relax your hands, and you tense your arms and then you relax.
If the anxiety is so much, there's like even distress tolerance, like where you can really change the temperature by holding an ice cube or taking a nice cold shower. I mean, we're getting further in, but if your anxiety is at like a manageable level, I think visualization, paced breathing, hobby exploration is huge. I mean, we look at those as coping mechanisms, but they're also emotional regulation tools that we naturally make up for ourselves.
Right. Yeah, like I said before, personally, I used to watch the news for 2 hours. I purposely said to myself, I'm just gonna watch like the basic local news that I need to know, weather and stuff like that. And I'm gonna take that hour and do something really productive with it. And that's my personal thing.
That's nice.
So breathing techniques, muscle relaxation techniques, visualizing things you say to yourself, cognitive coping statements. Sometimes it's called positive affirmations, whatever you want to call it. It's things you say to yourself, like, yeah, I could do this. I've done this before. I can do well now. I can get help if I need it. I can, I have resources. There's a whole field of positive psychology that focuses on your current resources and what's going right,
your strengths
in your life.
rather than your weaknesses. Yeah.
So what do you personally do to relax?
Personally, I employ some of these techniques. One of the things that I feel has helped me the most is the paced breathing. Paced breathing, I do the count for 4 in, hold for 4 or 5, and then count out for 7 or 8. And then I've just noticed that it's just deeper breathing. Then it turns into something where I'm feeling way more relaxed. And I just noticed that the breaths I'm taking are deeper, more full. I'm using my chest and my abdomen, and that helps me out. Then I'll go into like an activity. So first I calm myself down with the breathing. Then I go into an activity. I'll watch a show like Arcane came out. I'm big into anime. I'll look up those. I'll look at what I can watch, what's available, what just came out, whatever I have, or I'll play video games. I mean, I'm a huge gamer, so I like to play certain video games, and that can really help because, there's only like so much of doing the same thing too that'll help, that I found that doing some new stuff too, like going on a walk in this weather too. I love this weather. This weather's like,
me too,
perfect. It's not too cold, it's not too hot. So I really enjoy going for walks, especially if like my anxiety level is pretty high, or even my depressive level is pretty high. Like if I'm just feeling like unproductive, then I'll sit down and I'll journal. Journaling's really good.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I used to journal like obsessively, like from high school all the way into college. Every day I would have it. And then I digitized it and put it in a database so you can look up things. There was so many entries that you could put in, like, concerts, and you see the list of all the concerts that I ever went to.
Oh, that's
but
cool.
I kind of stopped doing that.
Yeah. I've just started. So now I have like a whole Word sheet, a whole Word document of it. And I'll put my entry date at the top, because it's like, I don't want to carry around a book. I know it's cool, and like you could do that. And some people like it, like actually writing on paper, like they like it. But for me, I sit in front of a screen all day playing video games. So I'm like, let's just change the screen background.
So I have a topic of discussion. It's on target.
Yeah.
I think it's on topic.
Let's find out.
Like, we'll soon find out. 5 minutes?
Oh.
We're getting cut short already.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to go. Yeah. Okay.
I'll
keep it short, and then we'll wrap it up. So
yeah.
So my wife to fall asleep, she plays a number of video games on her phone. She plays like Angry Birds, Wordle, Scrabble, Plants vs. Zombies.
Oh yeah.
And I think that keeps her up,
Hmm.
You know, like
It does,
I
yeah.
could be wrong, but she says this is what I need to fall asleep. So I don't know where the truth lies. Like, obviously it helps her. That's why she does it.
Mhm.
But I would love her to experiment and like not do that. Like, what do you think? Do you find playing video games like
Yeah, there's a
stimulates you?
deeper conversation here. This is actually, there's a reason people use electronics before they fall asleep.
Okay.
I mean, what usually
Now,
happens?
I doom scroll also. So
Yeah, right. What usually happens when we're falling asleep? We are not distracted anymore. If we're not distracted anymore,
True.
then all of this starts to process.
Yes.
Everything negative starts to come up. And so what we'll do is, and I've done this countless times. I mean, countless times.
Keeps your brain busy.
Watch my phone. I will put that in front of my face until I can't keep my eyelids open. Then I'll set it down. Helps me fall asleep. It doesn't actually help me get to sleep faster.
Right.
It just makes it so that the processing doesn't happen. And like, there's a whole big thing to go in here. Like, what do we do? Like, if you want to get a better sleep schedule, because people will ruin their sleep schedules over it. But yeah.
Yeah, we could do, definitely video games would be a great topic.
Mm.
Anyway, we're going to have to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Nicole, can you put the headphones on and see if they work? Are they working? Not working.
Test.
Not happening. Okay, but
everything else
well,
works.
we sound great.
We sound professional.
Yes, it's like smooth.
Ooh.
We can play with that next time. Anyway, so thanks for joining us, none of you. And
every none of you, and we'll see you next time, or we won't see you next.
Wait, so just we're going to recap. So we're Therapy My Way. We're located in Plainview, New York.
Mhm.
We take insurance. We do individual therapy, testing and evaluation, and social skills groups. I forgot to mention.
Yep.
So welcome to TMW Talk, and thanks for joining us. And we'll see you next time.
That's your host, Fred.
Let's wave goodbye in unison.
Okay.